Welcome back, life science learners, to our segment where we're looking at nutrition. We're now focusing on nutritional disorders. It's important that before we get into disorders that we understand what a balanced diet is. We've just looked at diabetes mellitus as a disorder where the body cannot regulate the blood sugar levels. It's important that we understand why it is important to have a balanced diet, and then we will look at what does it mean to have certain nutritional disorders. It's important that we understand that our diet needs to be balanced so that we have a sustainable diet which allows us to have the major food groups in it. So all of that in our segment now. So guys, a balanced diet. It's often confused with eating food. So having food is not necessarily what every individual needs. Having the right amounts of food in the correct proportions based on your lifestyle is important. That balance is crucial for you to have a good physiology and have a good metabolism. So let's try and unpack what a balanced diet is. A balanced diet should consist of all the necessary nutrients in their correct quantities. What does that mean? It means that there are certain nutritional groups, carbohydrates, proteins, fats and lipids that are needed on a daily basis. Depending on individuals' lifestyle and their physiology, we might need different proportions of these. It's also important to realize that our diet needs to be managed depending on when we have a meal and how much we have. So we compare that to what the constituents or the makeup of breakfast is as compared to what happens at supper. So those are important when we're looking at a holistic balanced diet. Okay, so we need to get the correct quantities. We need carbohydrates, guys, and fats to provide the body with energy. Carbohydrates are the fuel that fuels the cells for cellular respiration. We need the right amount of carbohydrates so that we're not having excess of these that are then converted and stored as fat. We need fats as well, and fats are important because they provide essential building blocks for some of the fatty acids in the body. So we need to have that as well as carbohydrates. Proteins are used for building and repair of cells. So guys, proteins are broken down during digestion into amino acids. Those amino acids are then taken and put together to form enzymes, to form proteins, as well as to repair and restore damaged cells, as well as for the growth of tissue and organs. We need vitamins, minerals that are important to maintain the immune system and body processes. So these vitamins and minerals that we talk about, vitamin C, D, A, E, and K, are all crucial for not just a balanced diet, but important in production of antibodies, production of enzymes, production of structures that are important in maintaining important functioning of the body. Okay, so let's look at a balanced diet. So the amount of nutrients required is dependent on age, gender, and the level of activity. You would know that the younger you are, you need a diet that provides you with the essential nutrients that can fuel your active lifestyle. But as you age, you'll find that you'll need to review your diet because you're not as active as you were when you were young and active and growing up. So, depending on the age, we need to look at the balance of nutrients that are needed. We also need to look at the level of activity. If you are an active person, you need to be able to provide yourself with the necessary fuels that provide the energy for being active. Okay, so for example, growing children need more protein, and that protein is important to build and repair cells. So children grow quickly and rapidly, organs develop, bone and muscle develop. So you need the proteins which contain the building blocks that help to repair, regenerate body tissue. Active people require more energy foods that are going to give you a sustained release of energy. And men need more energy foods than women in terms of their physiology becoming active. This might vary depending on their diet. So if you're physically working out, whether you're male or female, you would need large amounts of energy that require food. if you are sitting in an office and if you're not as active as you are as doing physical labor, you would have to look at the food intake to ensure that the energy that you get from that is not more than what the body needs. So all of that needs to be considered. Right. And so this triangle essentially forms the pyramid when we're talking about maintaining a balanced diet. So the foods right on the top should be consumed less of, and the foods right at the bottom are what we should consume more of. So we talk about having lots of cereals and whole grains. That should be a larger proportion. We should also have fruit and vegetables, which are important for our vitamins, our important nutrients and antibodies. We then look at the consumption of your middle order, which is eating moderate amounts of dairy products, meat, fish, eggs and beans, and these provide the proteins for repair, regeneration and growth. And lastly, we need some oils, we need fats, salt and sugar, but we need that in the moderate amounts, and these are often seen as the ones that are less likely to cause, are more likely to cause complications in the body if they are taken in excessively high amounts. As we talk about balanced diets, we need to recognize that individuals have different diets. What do I mean by that? There are a number of different diets that can be followed by people, and this comes from different cultures, different religions, and personal and health choices. And you would know that you've got friends or family that choose to consume foods depending on their culture, their religion, or their personal dietary requirements. So here's a quick synopsis of some comparisons between a few different diets. You would have heard of people that are vegan. And a vegan is an individual that does not eat any animal products such as meat, eggs, or milk. So they consume products that are not produced by any animal or contain no animal byproducts. And so that we refer to as vegan. We also have people that are vegetarian. And these are individuals that do not eat meat, but they eat dairy products and eggs. So you have vegetarians that choose to eat products that contains milk, but not necessarily having chicken or any other animal protein in them. We also would have heard of a diet which is halal, and then again that's a diet followed by the Islamic faith, and they do not consume pork, alcohol, or carnivorous animals, or any food that comes in contact with carnivores. They basically slaughter the animal and they follow strict rules and will recite a prayer when doing that. And so that's a specific diet for individuals. We also know that we have a kosher meal, and these are followed by the Jewish faith, and also they do not eat pork, shellfish, or fish without fins or scales. No predatory birds either. So that's an overview of some of the different diets that you might come in contact with. Individuals, depending on their lifestyles, also choose to have different diets, and that's entirely left to individuals. But the important thing is that in many of these diets, they're often a discipline as well as for the benefit of individuals' health and well-being. Right. As we wrap this up, we need to talk about malnutrition. So guys, we often refer to a balanced diet consisting of the essential food groups. We also know that individuals that do not receive a balanced diet are affected in their lifestyle. We refer to that as malnutrition. So malnutrition occurs when a person does not follow a balanced diet. Okay? It can result in undernourishment, eating too little food, or overnourishment, eating too much of food. And so we talk about individuals having a large body mass, and that's due to the overconsumption of food, or individuals being underweight, and that's due to consuming or not consuming enough of the important food groups. Okay, this can lead to a number of different disorders or diseases. Okay, as we compare them, we'll have a quick overview of some nutritional disorders. A common one is called kwashiorkor, and this is a diet that lacks in protein, and it generally occurs in children. The symptom of that is that you have a swollen stomach and liver, the skin appears to present sores, and growth of these individuals are stunted. The next disorder that we can talk about is called marasmus. And this is a diet that lacks energy foods such as carbohydrates and fats. These individuals show thin muscle development. They are extremely thin as no fat deposits and accumulates in their body. They lack energy and their eyes tend to be sunken in the eye sockets. We then have two other disorders which are called psychological disorders. One is called anorexia nervosa, and this is a condition where a person refuses to eat in fear of gaining weight. And these symptoms are seen as individuals having excessive weight loss to a point that it could be fatal. Another psychological condition is called bulimia. Again, it is a condition where a person regularly overeats and then induces vomiting to avoid gaining weight. Again, the fear of gaining weight will cause them to induce vomiting. These individuals often are dehydrated, show tooth decay, there is damage of the esophagus, and often have an electrolyte imbalance. As we wrap this up, there are other conditions where having a diet rich in fat can lead to coronary heart diseases or heart attacks. We discussed earlier on diabetes as a disorder due to poor diet, lack of exercise, which results in individuals not being able to control their blood sugar levels. And a common disorder prevalent in many countries is called obesity, and that's again due to a diet that is rich in energy foods such as sugars and fats, and it's often as a result of excessive deposits of fat, a decreased physical activity, and having a sedentary lifestyle. It's often seen in people that are type 2 diabetic or people that suffer from hypertension or have a risk of heart diseases. So guys, that's a wrap for today. We've looked at nutritional disorders. We've looked at what a balanced diet is. We've also unpacked the concepts around being diabetic. I trust that you guys have engaged with this and are able to relate to the concept of how nutrition is important and having a balanced diet is important. From me, that I hope you guys can go away, reflect on what we've done, and make healthy choices about your diet. From me, take care, have a baie lekker day. Cheers.